Hello, I'm Amber Ford, and this is my EDU 854 case study, The Budget Debacle. First of all, let's summarize the case and establish the facts. This situation takes place at Briardale Elementary School, where Mr. Carl Santo is the site principal. This serves a diverse community, and the facility serves as a community meeting center. A foundation has been formed at each school. The funds raised through these foundations support supplementary curriculum programs. Mr. Barely is the new foundation president at Briardale Elementary. He is a Harvard graduate and motivated to raise the most money ever raised for the school. He is competitive with another school's foundation president who happens to be a former fraternity brother at Harvard. He has been informed by Mr. Santo of his responsibilities in this position. There was a fundraiser event, which was selling raffle tickets. It was a raffle for cash event. It was a most successful event, and Mr. Barely was arrested and convicted of a misdemeanor and placed on probation. The event was reported on the front page of the local paper. Mr. Santos was very embarrassed about the situation, as well as it left a negative mark on the foundation as well as the school. Section 2, reporting any legal or ethical issues. While the raffle fundraiser had positive intentions, with the information provided in the case study, one ethical issue was identified, which was the lack of involvement by the building principal or the superintendent, since the fundraiser directly impacts the school. Even though this event was held with positive intention, there is a legal issue in the state of Kansas. According to the Raffle Amendment SCR 1618, school districts are allowed to conduct raffles as long as the gross receipts are less than $25,000. If the anticipated gross is higher, the organization should file for a raffle license. Based on the outcome of this situation, I'm making the assumption that the gross was higher than $25,000. Therefore, that's why legal action was taken. To synthesize, the competitive nature of Mr. Barely's raffle for cash fundraiser attempt led to his arrest and misdemeanor charges for holding an illegal lottery, resulting in a negative impact on Briardale Elementary's reputation. Synthesizing the facts. What we know about the people is that there's Mr. Santos, the principal, Mr. Barely, the foundation president. There's around 600 students in a K-6 building. The faculty is very low turnover. They stay around forever and teach. There are stakeholders, parents, and community members. There is a tipster as well as the sheriff. What we don't know is the number of participants in the fundraiser, as well as what was the role of the superintendent in the district foundations. The place, it's an elementary school, which is one of 6 in the district. There's also 2 middle schools and 1 high school. The Briardale facility is used for a community meeting center. What we don't know is if this location is rural, suburban, or urban. We don't know the socioeconomic levels or the cultural makeup of the district. The program. What we know is that the district's curriculum is based on students' performance that supports basic skills and instruction. Foundations at each school site raise money to support the supplementary curriculum. Funds are handed over to the principal with recommendations on how to spend. These funds have been used to support programs such as art, music, and foreign language. What we don't know is what the previous fundraisers were, or if there's any district guidelines for the fundraisers or foundation. Review and prioritize. One thing I need to keep in mind is relationship with the foundation. The foundation group needs to know the value of their efforts of the support of the supplementary programs, while also understanding the importance of following laws and regulations. Through conversation, the situation needs to be resolved in a manner that is lawful and clear for future fundraisers. I also need to keep in mind the relationship with the community. Have an open, honest dialogue with the community so that they need to know that the fundraiser seems successful. Unfortunate and unintentional mistakes took place. As a building leader, the issue is being reviewed, and once a solution is determined, all will be informed. Here are some options that I came up with. First of all is to take no action at all. Option 2, survey the stakeholder and create a new plan for what to do with the current funds raised by the fundraiser. Option 3, work with other building principals, the superintendent, and foundation presidents to develop fundraiser guidelines. And option 4, just don't allow any fundraisers at all. Here's to evaluate the options. Option 1, no action. It would require no work, but it does not resolve the current issue or address any future concerns. Option 2 is to survey the stakeholders and create a new plan of what to do with the funds. A pro would be that the raised funds can be used in an ethical and legal manner, and it also involves all the stakeholders. Some cons is that it does take time and that it does not address any future happenings. Option 3 was to develop guidelines with other building principals and other foundation presidents. Pros, the raised funds can be used ethically and legally. It creates consistencies across the district, and a con is the time. And option 4, just to no fundraisers. There would be no legal concerns, but it eliminates the supplementary program funding. Choose the best options. While reviewing the case and evaluating the options, I must remember to promote current and future success of all by applying knowledge, skills, and commitments necessary to improve management in regards to crafting a plan for future fundraiser success. To do this effectively, I will apply the knowledge and skills learned to select an option that addresses the situation while allowing me to evaluate, develop, and advocate for a data-informed and equitable plan that supports school improvement and student development. I believe that both options 2, the one to take a survey of the stakeholders and create a plan to use with the current funds, and option 3, to work with other building principals and superintendents and foundation presidents to develop fundraiser guidelines can be merged together to address the situation while also making a positive change for the future of all foundation fundraisers in the district. To do this, first I would need to publicly inform the community of the situation, apologize about the situation, and focus on the future. And begin by inviting key stakeholders in from Briardale Elementary to collaborate on a plan to gain insight on ways to rectify the current situation. I'm imagining that those key stakeholder groups could be people from your site councils or your parent association, those types of groups. Then start conversations with building principals and superintendents about developing district-wide foundation regulations and policies. Then continue conversation by adding in the foundation presidents and collaborate on a plan to encourage ethical and legal funding while not hampering personal style or sense of competition. Sometimes that competition can lead to good things when used correctly. And finally, seek board input and guidance for implementation. Most importantly, as a unified unit, all the building principals and the superintendent and the foundation presidents need to communicate the developed regulation or policies, whatever the group decides to name them, and be consistent with implementing them as well as consistent communication over the years. If this doesn't work, my plan B would be only to complete option 2, survey the stakeholders from those key groups in my elementary building and create a plan to take care of the funds currently raised. And then hopefully I can work with my local foundation to set up parameters for future fundraisers. And here are my references.